I've watched season 4 of The Boys and I loved it. Not my favorite season, but definitely one of my favorite shows. But there is one character we need to talk about. Of course, it is Frenchie. Is the actor even French? How's his French? His accent? Let's say that together. Bonjour tout le monde, I'm Cassie, your French tutor, so you can discover France the French way. And as I said, today we're talking about Frenchie from The Boys. One thing though, the supernatural fan that I am since I am a kid is so delighted about that show. Because you know what? Eric Kripke, the creator of The Boys, is also the one who created Supernatural. And and I can see actors that were in Supernatural. So for example, Jensen Ackles, Jim Beaver, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It is so good to see them. Anyway, we're talking about Frenchie today. So I've seen terrible things on the internet because to research this video, I've been on Reddit. Why did I do that? Anyway, I've seen mean comments about his French, about the way he speaks, etc. And I don't understand it. So let's see together if it is that bad.
I know I'm asking a lot. At first I hated the V because I didn't choose it. But now it's my choice. I think that matters.
Okay, somebody join me to watch the show. Alright, so his accent is really not that bad. The actor portraying Frenchie is Tomer Capone, and he's not French at all. He's from Israel. And he said that before this role, he didn't know a word of French. We need to keep in mind that he has an advantage. So we need to keep in mind that he has quite an advantage because unlike English speakers, the R, for example, is a sound that you will find in Hebrew, so his mother tongue. And here, for example, in that short clip, you can hear it. His R are on point. And one thing he said in all the interviews that I've watched to prepare this video is that for him, Frenchie is not just French, but a foreigner. So what he means is that not only he's French, but he's someone who is in a country where he doesn't fully speak the language, especially when he arrived. So he had to find ways to fit in, still keeping his identity. Sometimes he just doesn't understand the words because they're not familiar. So he has to find ways to just understand the situation. Maybe he doesn't have the social cues, all that. And that's what makes Frenchie. And I think that everybody who speaks another language than their mother tongue or lives abroad, etc., they will relate. Here, for example, what I find extremely clever, I don't know if he did that on purpose or not, is that the way he pronounces the words is not consistent. So sometimes, for example, he will use the French R, like the truth, for example, and sometimes he won't. He will just say the truth. So for example, matters, he will pronounce the R correctly. You can see that a lot, especially here, it is an emotional scene. So he's not paying attention to the way he conveys the message, he pays attention to the message itself. And yeah, that's really close to reality, so very good job for that. Also here, what I find interesting is the TH, so think, for example. So this is a sound that does not exist in the French language, and he nails it, because it is really hard for us French people to pronounce it. Th, th. We don't really have a sound where you need to put the tip of your tongue between your teeth. So th is quite difficult, and especially when you're not thinking or you're speaking fast, th will become s, and he does that really well. I think that matters. It's not exactly a think, but a think. It's kind of in between, and that's something French people would do. Very good.
Whatever those bastards got planned for you, you don't deserve it, mon cœur.
Okay. His accent is good, but mon cœur, yeah, definitely betrays that he's not a native French speaker. He opens way too much the vowel. We would say mon cœur. See, like that, mon cœur. He says mon cœur. Like, it doesn't sound like mon corps, but that's the way. So it's kind of in between, not very good. Definitely not a French speaker, but again, he's really not that bad.
Massage the bird with olive oil, then a sprinkle of salt and pepper, then I bake. Basting every 20 minutes to keep it from drying out is very important. Till it's crisp, but not too crunchy.
Nailed it. He nailed it. So here he speaks French. He says le poulet. He starts that way, and his pronunciation is really, really good, especially with the music, you know, the background noise, etc. Like you could be fooled. For this scene in particular, I've seen on the internet that yeah, it's garbage, like he doesn't speak very well. What he says after is actually English. It's not French. So yeah, French people won't understand what he says because it's not the same language. So I do not know what he says straight after le poulet, but it is English. And yeah, sometimes, especially when you're in your head, the way when you speak another language, maybe the words don't come out very well. Happens to me all the time. Thank you, editing. So yeah, I can relate again. Then when he says words like crunchy, crunchy, I, it's a real French I. It's way sharper, way shorter than English I, crunchy, crunchy. That is so French. I'm sorry for the haters on the internet, but he nailed it.
And then where do you want to go? We go to Marseille. Oh.
No. One thing, I do not know why they put the subtitles with the S at Marseille. There is no S at Marseille. No, no, no. But yeah, here you know that he's not French. Marseille, that's how it should be pronounced. The way he says it, you can definitely hear a bit of an accent. Though his R, perfection. So the character Frenchie is supposed to come from Marseille in the Amazon Prime show, not in the comics. And it is a bold choice that I think is motivated by, you know, ignorance. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but people from Marseille have an accent that is very different than how he speaks. Like how he speaks could be an accent of people from where I'm from, for example, not from Marseille. Like their accent truly is different. So yeah, we can definitely see that he's not from Marseille.
We want the truth about Soldier Boy. Not the merde you've been giving us in your appalling show. How did he die? Who killed him? Talk!
Here it's funny, because he goes from nailing the accent to his own accent. So we want the truth, not a real English R, but like French people who try to speak English, sometimes we pronounce it that way. And then the TH, like we want the truth was actually very, very good. But after, it had nothing to do with the French accent. And because I've watched interviews from him for this video, I can tell that it's way closer to his real accent. That was good, then not that good, and I don't really care because I was into the story.
Monsieur Charcutet? Is this a surprise? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, mate.
Okay, I need your help for that. Are you seriously telling me that Butcher is supposed to have a British accent? I don't believe it for one sec. Is it really a British accent? Like, where from? I really want to know. But yeah, so here he talks to Butcher and he calls him Monsieur Charcutier. So for the Monsieur, I know in English it shouldn't be Mr. Butcher, like they just call him Butcher. But he says Monsieur Charcutier. Charcutier and butcher are not the same thing. A butcher in French would be un boucher. So really the person cutting the meat, etc. Un charcutier is the one preparing the sausages, the ham, like delicatessen, all that. So it's a bit more specific. Why does he call him charcutier? I have no clue. And here he really struggles to say the word. He doesn't really say charcutier, but charcuter. That's how we know that, yeah, he's not French.
Not sound gay. Serge.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you. See? Thing? It wasn't a good one. So exactly what I was saying. Anyway, so his name is Serge. And the way he pronounces it, again, R, he nails it, always. But he says Serge. He is pronouncing the final E. And if you are familiar to my channel, if you are a regular here, you know that E at the end of a word, most of the time, is just here so you pronounce the consonant that is before. You don't really pronounce the E. So we would say Serge, not Serge. See, Serge. And then we stop at that letter, at the J. Serge. we wouldn't open the mouth. Serge, Serge, not Serge. So yeah, that's quite a big clue that he's not French at all. So in general, Tomer Capone is doing an amazing job at portraying Frenchie. Love him in the series. So, like, his role was a bit weak in season 4, let's be honest, but not his fault. So I really like him. I don't know why they did not choose a French actor or really French-speaking actor. I mean, there are plenty in the US. That was their choice, but he did the best he could, and that's already very good. So I think the hate is definitely not deserved. So now, if there is another French character that I should review, tell me in the comments. You can also give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you want to watch a French show with French actors speaking real native French, I recommend you watch this video next. Donc à la semaine prochaine. Salut!